All right, let's see if this will let me toggle between multiple screens. But I wanted to give everybody an update on the CHFA Schools to Home program. You've probably seen this all over, but I wanted to break down what I think are the most important aspects to communicate with our partners, but as well as borrowers. So just quickly, you've probably heard at least this much, but at least one borrower must be a full-time employee with a Colorado pre-K through 12 public school or school district. Even innovation zones count. So there's actually a website that you can uh, search for the appropriate schools. So no CSU, no CU, but you can get Head Start counts, and I'm less familiar with home option, but again, there's a search tool, so you can be talking to the right folks about this program. Um, all right, so biggest thing here is just like the legacy CHFA program that we're all familiar with, is this fixed first is going to be just the same as a traditional 30-year fixed rate mortgage. The up to 25% down is going to be a silent second. So no payments, but that's the part that they're going to have to pay back um, like they did the legacy program. So we're going to go over an example. And then, of course, the not to be missed section around shared appreciation. So this shouldn't catch anyone by surprise, but the shared appreciation is not on the full amount. So basically, if we just used a purchase price of 437,500, this section just breaks down. Okay, if they're putting 20% down, their mortgage is going to be based off of 350, and they're going to have to pay back the 87,500. That's the down payment that they're borrowing. So the percentage of the appreciation. So if they're putting 20% down, they're going to have to give CHFA 20% of the gain. So in other words, if that home at the time that they're going to sell it is now worth 480, they're going to subtract the original purchase price to determine the appreciation. We all can do that all day long. So then they're going to give 20% of that appreciation back to the program. So those two amounts need to be uh, given back. Now, the other slide that I'm going to bring up is just to show you the payment and the uh, out of pocket. But also, the last thing before I jump to mortgage coach is that the two things that you need to talk to with your clients are the shared appreciation and then the additional class that they need to take. So they have to take first time homebuyer education, and then they have to take a CHFA specific schools to home course. So they're going to get plenty of coverage when it comes to making a good decision. All right, hopefully this lets me show you guys Mortgage Coach. Great, you can see me. So this is just an example on a 2-bed, 2-bath house in Fort Collins that we're closing for Hartford Homes under the Schools to Home program in October. So if we just compare it to the legacy program, so the CHFA that we've all come to know and love for first-time home buyers is column one. So what was great about that program is you could put 3% down, and CHFA would give you 4% in the form of a silent second, so that you could literally come out of pocket with just $1,000. In this scenario, they're coming to the table with 9,500, and that's just because of our purchase price range there. So their payment is going to be $3,600 on the traditional CHFA program. So if we said, okay, school teacher, you could buy that same house and save over $767 on the payment with a similar out of pocket. So to me, that is the blaring obvious advantage to this program. If we can help a teacher save $800 a month on their payment, they're going to be um, sitting pretty. So let's fast forward, right? That's just one side of the equation. Let's just say that that person stays in the home for 5 years. They're going to have 41%, they're going to have saved $41,000 because they're able to put that significant down payment, right? So, again, even if CHFA is clawing back a portion of that, um, they're going to be set up for success. And going back to my previous slide of a $430,000 home appreciating to 480, they are going to want to be careful about staying in that home for likely more than 5 years. So, all right, let's take a 7-year lens. That same teacher is going to have a net worth over $100,000 more than someone using the traditional CHFA program. And to me, why that is significant, um, and maybe a little less obvious, is that we talk a lot about the wealth creation of homeownership compared to renting. This program to me is just taking that to the next level by saying, hey, instead of providing you a 3% down payment, we're going to provide you up to 25% down. And again, these numbers are up to. They can put 10%, they can put 5%. So we can always customize it to their scenario so that they're not left holding the bag for however long that they think that they're going to stay in that property. So if you want more information, please reach out. We'd love to help.